and it's currently the Democratic National Convention. And they had a speech from a teary Joe Biden, and it was meant to be this impassioned, fiery display to rile up the masses before Kamala Harris delivered her speech. You know, the outgoing president saying goodbye after 4 years almost in office, and he would really get them going, you know, give them something to feel cheery about, to go into battle over. And this is what he had to say.
American prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. In my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return with the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president.
Well, he admits it now, of course, but 2 minutes ago, let's not forget, it wasn't even a month ago that he was saying that he absolutely would be the nominee. He absolutely would be standing again. And it's just brushed over that the Democrats clearly said after that debate, let's not forget that debate against President Trump, where it was such a colossal disaster that clearly the Democratic pack gathered round and said, no way, Jose, Joe Biden ain't standing. But he says, you know, I gave you my best. Well, I'd have hated to have seen his bloody worst, because I think for the last 50 years, he has been a complete and utter disaster. And for the past 4 years, he has been a man who is very much unwell, in decline. And I think it's been really sad to watch and quite disgraceful, frankly, of the Democrats to have allowed him to basically display himself like that for the last 4 years. But the polls are basically suggesting that Kamala Harris could actually win it, and that actually, despite Joe's really lackluster performance there to galvanise the base for Kamala Harris, for these activists to go out onto the campaign trail and drum up votes and support for her, well, and you've covered this already, Chloe, but I wanted to play it for our viewers tonight, where Benny Johnson, who's an American political commentator, asked everyday Americans why it was, well, those outside, it was those at the DNC, wasn't it, Chloe, who was actually at the Democratic National Convention.
I think it may have been as people had
Benny Johnson, yeah.
Kamala
as they
Harris
left.
tops on. So probably, yes.
Yes.
I'm
So they're all Kamala Harris supporters. And Benny Johnson asks them why it is that they support Kamala Harris. And I just think this is a really interesting snapshot into the mindset of people that say that they are going to go out there and vote for her and campaign for her, despite the fact she has shied away from any interview with anyone that might give her a little bit of pushback. She's gone underground. She's not doing interviews, not facing debate. And she only has one currently, as far as I'm aware, debate lined up with President Trump. Oh, let's have a listen.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she's... Honestly, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Trump sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1,000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Actually, don't use this.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Do you know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he?
He's a I mean, I'm asking the same question, right?
I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah.
Evidently not.
Find out.
We're going to find out.
Watch, I'm finna stop somebody and ask the same question.
We're going to find out who Tim Walz is. We're going to find out.
Wait, I know you.
What?
I follow you too.
What? In downtown Chicago.
That's you.
My man, that's it.
Of course it's Kamala.
Whoa. Why Trump and not Kamala?
Trump is a businessman. The country's a business, plain and simple. Yes. She got the IQ of a shoelace. Yeah.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump 2024. Trump 2024, man.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny here in front of the...
So that just gives you a flavour of the video. But like you saw there in the responses to those who are voting for Kamala Harris already at this stage, despite the fact they know precious little about her, or Tim Walz, who is standing to be, who is the vice presidential nominee. And all of the responses there were sort of vacuous sound bites on, oh, Trump is a pig or Trump is whatever else. And despite being stood there in a T-shirt saying you've done your research, not knowing who Tim Walz actually was. So it gives you an idea. And all of the ones voting for Trump said, you know, the country, it's like running a business. We need this chairman-like person to be in charge, get America back on track, grow the economy, etc., etc. Stop the immigration at the southern border, those sorts of themes. So do you both think, I mean, Eunice, I'll start with you, but do you think that actually now that these sorts of debates, the Democratic National Conventions happened, Joe Biden will be increasingly out of the picture, not that he was in the picture. He certainly wasn't in anything to do with competency or, intellectual capacity. But you get a sense of once actually Trump starts to get back into the, elbow his way back into the picture, because it's all being Kamala, especially by a craven mainstream media, which is so biased against President Trump. Do you think he can win back the momentum? Because there was real momentum with him after that debate against Joe Biden.
Well, to be honest with you, I see the polls, and apparently Kamala Harris is at 51% and Trump is at 45%, which I find very hard to believe. So the polls are saying, oh, Kamala Harris is going to win. But I just don't believe it. Again, I feel like maybe the polls are rigged because the mainstream media, they just give her good coverage, good mainstream media coverage, even though she doesn't do any interviews, she doesn't really do any rallies. Trump goes and stands in front of like thousands and thousands of people and speaks for like 3 hours straight without a teleprompter. And he entertains the crowd. He doesn't, use the same line twice. He covers all the subjects. Whereas Kamala Harris, you see her just reading off a teleprompter, word for word for word. And you get bored within 5 minutes. She doesn't give any tough interviews. And as you said, the mainstream media is extremely biased towards her. And unfortunately, majority of the public are either unaware or they just maybe low IQ in America. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the fact that they can't see through this facade of what the establishment is and what the last 4 years were, you can compare the 4 years under Trump and then the 4 years under Biden, right? And then under Trump, you see economic stability, the stock market going through a bull run, international peace, no wars happening. But then when you turned on the news, you would think the world is collapsing. And then every single thing they accused Trump of being, Biden comes into power and all those things starts happening. Inflation, economic collapse, wars, instability. And yet the mainstream media and the establishment protect these people, right? And that's why I don't like the establishment. And I really, really, really hope that people are not this dumb. I really hope people are awake to this. I really hope they see through this facade that, Kamala Harris, she's so unpopular. She finished 9th in the Democratic primaries back in 2020. She was so unpopular within the Democrats themselves that she had to drop out of the race even before one vote was cast. So how can you tell me this person can win? Even the Democrats don't like her. Even the black community doesn't like her. Yeah.
Because CNN, back after she fell out, as Eunice says, fell out of the race last time she stood, they basically said her campaign never got out of the ground. Where was she in the actual debate itself? They properly trashed her. Now you would think that she was the second coming, right? That she's the new Messiah. And it smacks of mainstream media bias. And I think anyone that's watching can actually see that. But you look at the polls, Chloe, and this is an aggregate of all of the different polls, and it weights them on polling accuracy and sample sizes and all these other things. So this gives Harris at 46.6% and Trump at 43.8%. I mean, one of our comments, Fed Up Brit, says these are people who voted Labour. They were the same, and look at what we got. Do you think the same thing's going to happen with Kamala Harris?
I think that there is definitely a similarity to draw between the election here in the UK and the election that's going to happen in the US, in that you've got people voting for the left-wing party just because they don't want the other person, right? You saw those girls in that video saying, Trump just sucks ass, but they couldn't give a single reason as to why they like Kamala Harris. I really hope that this poll is wrong. The polls are often wrong, right? That doesn't mean you should throw them out the window and not look at them at all, but we know that there are often A, inaccuracies, and B, just like we have the silent Tory in the UK, maybe there is something similar, like a silent Republican in the US. And I hope that that is the case, because I am very, very worried about the impact that it's going to have, not just on America, but on us here in the UK if Kamala Harris gets into power. I mean, look at all of the wars and potential wars that are going on in the world. I mean, Eunice, who you made in a video earlier, and everyone should go and watch that, Eunice talking about why he converted to being a Trump supporter. You said China wouldn't dare invade Taiwan under Trump, but under the Democrats, quite happily. I think that a lot of the outbreaks of war that we have seen and potential ones upcoming have been because leaders of those countries have had a look at the West and gone, well, look who they've got in the White House and look who they've got in charge of the UK. They're just completely fickle. We can do whatever we want. So, we could end up in a World War III or nearly World War III scenario if we end up with Kamala Harris. And for some reason, I hear a lot of people saying that Trump is the one that you need to be scared of when it comes to foreign policy. Oh, he's absolutely reckless. He loves Putin. He's going to get us in World War III. No. It's the other way around, guys.
Yeah, and this is it.
Can I just say one last thing about Kamala Harris is that she's the epitome of a DEI hire. Yeah, because we were just talking about DEI. She is a DEI hire because she's not there based on competence. Joe Biden came out and said, I want a black woman vice president, right? And that's why she was picked, because she was unpopular. She doesn't belong to a swing state. She was from California, and she's a black woman, and her record is rotten. So when people say DEI doesn't exist, she's a DEI hire, and she's on the brink of becoming one of the most powerful people on the planet. And this is why the woke mind virus is dangerous and DEI is dangerous.
This here is an article from 2019, and it says it's from one of CNN's commentators who has a show, and it says Kamala Harris tried to be everything to everyone and failed. And it's sort of like, well, nothing has changed. She is still being as vacuous as ever. She thinks that laughing is a policy proposal. She seems that she's high on laughing gas, come to mention it. One of our viewers says that she actually sounds like a laughing bag that the YouTube user used to have. I agree with you, Eunice. She is DEI personified. And everything wrong with politics and, well, the economy and pop culture, all of these other things. She epitomizes all of those things. So I think we are facing a civilizational moment. And if America gets this wrong, then we will get DEI on steroids. And that, what happens in America eventually very quickly finds its way over to these shores, Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.